everyone, and thank you for joining us today on Cable 14's Generation Z. I'm your host, Amanda Pope. So today's episode is a great episode because it marks the point halfway to learning the keys to success for starting and growing your own very business. So that's awesome because so far we've learned so much about the first key, discovering your authentic purpose, and the second key on making smart choices for your business. And I really do hope that you've been learning a lot and you've been seeing a lot of progress in your business because, as I mentioned last episode, it's really great if you put all these keys to practice because that's when you're going to see that progress and the results in your business. And personally, I want everybody's business to succeed. And I believe that if you do take action with all the things that we're learning from Generation Z, you will see that progress. I know personally for me I have, so I know that you will too. So today we're going to be learning about the third key, and that is adding your specialty to your business. So I want you to think, what is your specialty? What are you good at? What's your talent? And once you know that, add that to your business because that's what's going to make you stand out from your competition. So later on in today's show, we're going to be learning about branding, we're going to be learning about turning your passion into a business, and we're also going to be learning about the story behind your product. But before we get to all of that, we are here right now with Rebecca, who is the co-founder of Kallsen Stennett Communications. So thank you so much, Rebecca, for joining us today on Generation Z. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. So it's so awesome to have such a successful youth entrepreneur join us today. I really believe you'd be a great example for a lot of startup companies, no matter the age. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your business and the success that you've seen so far?
Yeah, so Kallsen Stennett Communications was created just over a year ago. We're in our second year of business now. We're a full-service public relations agency specializing in millennial communication.
That's really good. And at first I was thinking with communications, it kind of sounds like marketing and advertising, but you had mentioned it's public relations. And I believe that's really good because there's so many businesses with advertising and marketing. And personally, I don't know too many in my case, with public relations. So I think that's really good because it just shows your difference in everything. So what are the services that you provide? Like, what do you do when you work with your clients?
Yeah, so some of the services that we provide are media relations, branding, corporate social responsibility, community engagement, social media marketing, anything that's going to help your company build relationships with your customers or your potential customers.
Yeah, and I really like the one point how you said with building relationships, because that is one of the most important things that any business owner needs to do, is to build relationships with your customers, but not only your customers, with the world.
Absolutely.
And you mentioned about branding as well. And I think if you want to build those relationships, you need to know what branding is. So why don't you tell us about what branding is?
Yeah, so branding is what helps to establish a consistent theme for your company. So when you think about it, it's what differentiates your company from another in the marketplace, but it's different from marketing. So the brand is kind of what sticks in the room after marketing's left. It's that feeling that you get about a company or a service or a product, and it's what you think about when you think of those specific companies, products, or services. So take Starbucks, for example. They have a very strong brand, and it's because they've built the foundation that all of the world almost knows what Starbucks is and what they represent.
So with branding, in regards to branding, how can we brand? Like, what are the first steps for branding?
Yeah, so often when people think about branding, they think about the visual identity, so the logo or the image that goes along with the brand. But the way we see it at Kallsen Stennett Communications, it's a lot more than that. So branding is about the personality or the vision and the values, and it's about that brand essence that you want to portray to your customers or your potential customers. So.
Yeah, and what process do you go through with your clients for helping them put together their brand for their business?
So first we do a brand discovery. So what is a company currently doing in terms of their branding? So what do they represent? What key messages are they trying to get out to their audience? What are their values and how are they getting those values across to their audiences? From there, we come up with a full brand strategy. So we align their core values with their messaging and their communication.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense definitely, because I know for me, at first, when I first started my business, I had no idea what branding was. But I do believe that once you know what branding is and you put it into practice with your business, that's when you're going to see a lot of success, because your community is going to recognize your business and you almost have an identity with branding for your business as well. So I know I've heard of the quote before about embodying your brand so that your company can become its own walking billboard. So what does that mean?
So if you think about it, it really starts internally. So as a company, you want to be educating your team on what your brand is, so what your values are, what you represent, and how you plan on letting the rest of the public know about your brand values and your brand essence. So the better you educate through corporate communications, your team your team is your day-to-day marketing people. They're out in the world representing your company every single day. So the better they know your brand and your brand identity, the better they'll be able to communicate that out in their day-to-day actions.
Okay, so that makes sense. And I really think that's going to help a lot of people, because branding, as I mentioned, most people think it's advertising and it's marketing. But as we learned today, it's different than marketing. So that's really good. Now, I just want to get to know a bit more about your business and everything. So you said that you've been working now for 2 years. So what type of projects are you working on currently for your business?
Yeah, we're in our second year. So we've worked with over 20 small businesses in Hamilton, from a men's styling agency to office retail spaces, to all different businesses across Hamilton.
So you've been working with a lot of different types of businesses, and do you find that's helping you grow as a business when you get to work with different types of services and different types of products?
Absolutely. In our first year, we weren't sure what market we wanted to specialize in, and then as we've been growing, so many people are coming to us from all different areas and all different businesses. So it gives us a lot of opportunity to grow strong brands for multiple different companies, so that as a community, the Hamilton businesses can all come together for a bigger purpose.
Okay, that is really, really interesting, and I'm very interested in your business as well. I think it'll help a lot of people to figure out what their identity and what their brand is for their business. And for today's episode, as I mentioned, we're kind of discovering what our specialty is and adding that specialty into our business. So what would you say your specialty is for your business?
I would say that our specialty is adding a little bit of fun and adding a little bit of personality into everything we do. I think often public relations agencies have a certain image to them, and they're all about branding and reputation building and trust, which is great. But we like to add a little bit of spunk, a little bit of pizzazz to everything we do, and that really resonates well with the millennial population. And they are our target audience. That's who we're trying to communicate with on a daily basis on behalf of our clients.
That's awesome. And what would you give for advice, what would you give advice for any youth or anybody, no matter what your age is, that you're trying to start a company? What would be your advice with adding your specialty?
I would definitely recommend to add personality into everything you do. It's easy to forget about the brand personality when you're starting up a company or when you're in the middle of running a company. But that's what will help your customers, your potential customers, develop a relationship, because relationships are all built on personality. So build your personality into your brand.
And how could you say you can, for example, build your personality, though, into your business? Do you mean, for example, I know a lot of people, they have more of an outgoing, upbeat personality. So do you mean adding that type of personality into it, or as a business having a business personality and adding that in? Do you understand that way? Yeah.
Yeah. So it can go either way depending on what kind of personality you're trying to establish with your brand. So, for example, with our company, the owners are very outgoing people.
Yeah.
So when we're throwing events, we like to go a little bit over the top and really celebrate everything that we do with our clients. But that could change from business to business.
Yeah, and that's very good. And I like how you mentioned about celebrating, because it's very important to celebrate, whether you're celebrating your success, celebrating something that you learned, or celebrating something that you've overcome as well. It's always great to celebrate every step of your business that you're going through. And I would like to congratulate you on all the success you've seen in your business with going through startup company, for coming on to your second year, and also for just being so young and already having 20 clients. That is incredible. That's really good. So congratulations, and I really do wish you all the best for your team and for your business in all. So we do have, for more information for our guests, there are different information with your website and with your phone number. So if you are interested in getting more information about Kallsen and Stennett Communications, you can visit their website at www.kallsenstennett.com. So thank you very much, and if you are interested in more of that, you'll definitely have to get in contact with them. But after the break, we are going to be discovering the story behind your product. So if you have an interest story behind what you want to sell, whether it's a service or a product, you'll want to stay with us so you can see how to do that. Stick with us.